Ladies and gentlemen, please give a warm welcome to Sabrina Carpenter.
Hi, I'm Sabrina Carpenter, and you're watching Disney Channel.
That's not Sabrina Carpenter. And this is not Disney Channel. Who is that? How did they get on here? You don't know? Okay, we'll talk about this later. Anyway, despite all of that, this is a review of Sabrina Carpenter's 6th studio album, Short and Sweet. It's a track list that's only 12 songs long and lives up to the title of the album. It is short and it's sweet, as none of the songs make it past the 4-minute mark. But let's get into it. We'll start with the first song, Taste. This song certainly has a fun beat to it, but it doesn't really have anything that's worth writing home about, as it follows a lot of the same structures that a lot of other pop songs kind of fall into. It's not really anything that's grasping my attention too much. Nonetheless, it is a good backbeat for the lyrics, which I would say that the lyrical content may be a little questionable. The story of the song basically boils down to like sloppy seconds, which honestly for an entire song is kind of petty. Plus mentioning that the girl that's kissing the guy that you were just with, being able to taste you, that's kind of gross. Honestly, Sabrina, if that's the case, you need to get checked out. Get that fixed. You shouldn't be leaving that long of a taste in someone's mouth that the next person is tasting it. Get help. Now, I understand that it's probably supposed to be metaphorical, but it doesn't stop grossing me out. All right, the next song on the track list is Please, Please, Please. The instrumentation on this one is actually pretty memorable. The opening synth arpeggios are really catchy in the beginning, and then they're sprinkled throughout the rest of the song, and that's just a really nice touch. I really liked that. And the rest of the instrumentation is also really good, as it has a bounce and groove to it that just kind of stays in the mind for longer than you'd expect, and no complaints here. Also, the delivery of the lines in this song are something that need to be recognized, as the way that she sings the lines in the verses and even the chorus are done in such a way that they have me coming back for more. The singing as a whole just fits really well with all the instrumentation as well, which makes this song just a real standout amongst everything else. We're also met with lyrics on this song about some guy that's really just painted to not be the best. A guy that she's trying to justify that he's worth dating, but also at the same time saying that she embarrasses her and makes her cry. I think that's probably a theme that a lot of people can relate to, and I'm really glad that I don't have to do it anymore. Thank you, wife. All right, next song. This song is Good Graces, and I can see it going hard on a dance floor, or maybe even at like the roller rink when I was in middle school. It just has a good beat, and it's a real head nodder, you know? You just can't help but give the old dance moves going. Real basic, not really. We're going to move on. I mentioned being at the roller rink when I was in middle school, and, these lyrics kind of remind me of being in middle school. I feel like I heard the term good graces most from girls talking about their boyfriends while we were in middle school, and it was always something petty and stupid. I was annoyed with it then, I'm annoyed with it now. The song is fine lyrically, but the beat's solid. Gets a thumbs up from me. So this next song is Sharpest Tool. This song offers a lot of musical textures, as we have acoustic guitars, lo-fi beats, and just the synths kind of getting sprinkled over the top of all that. It's a really nice mix, and Sabrina's vocals just dancing over the top of all of that really just adds to everything else. It's just a good old stew just getting stirred about, and it's good. I'm taking a taste of it, and I'm like, yep, musical goodness. It's just a tasty song, and it's probably one of my favorites on the album, honestly. We're five tracks deep into this album, and we're met with yet another song about a relationship or even like a short fling. At this point, I'm kind of just getting tired of hearing about relationship stuff. The music's been great, but the relationship stuff, I'm just like, I'd love to hear some other topics. That'd be wonderful. And these lyrics just aren't super compelling either. Honestly, this song is just great instrumentally. And I think that the musical aspects just really stand out to me more than anything that's being portrayed lyrically. And this next song is Coincidence, and it's yet another song that we're met with acoustic guitars. And on this one, we get some background singers that really are standing out in this song. Like, they're doing such a great job. They're pulling some heavy weight in this song, and I'm loving it. Plus, the upbeatness of this song is just really infectious, and it has a lot of re-listenability. This one also stands out as a song to me amongst the rest of them. And knowing which songs are really topping the charts on like the Billboard and whatnot, I think this one's getting slept on. Like, this one should stand out more than it's getting credit for. And I think maybe it'll have a little reincarnation in the future. Now, the subject matter on this song is actually pretty sad, as this guy in the song that's being talked about is starting to lose interest in Sabrina and is a little bit more focused on his ex. She even goes as far to say this in one of her lines: "What a surprise, your phone just died. Your car drove itself from LA to her thighs." If that actually happened, I'm sorry, Sabrina. That guy sucks. It's a good thing he's not around anymore. You go, girl. Girl power. Despite the subject matter of this song being sad, the instrumentation's really upbeat, and it's really what's got me keep coming back for more. This next song is Bed Chem. This is certainly the funkiest song on the album, as we're met with a lot of retro vibes, and it's pretty good. Plus, Sabrina's falsettos in the chorus are done quite well. I do think that this song is also one where the instrumentation kind of steals the show over anything that's happening in the lyrics. I don't know. Maybe it's just me and I'm the only one that's struggling with the subject matter that she's talking about. But I would just love to hear something other than just hooking up and dating. Although I will say that the line, "come right on me, I mean camaraderie," cracks me up every single time I hear it. All right, it's time for Espresso. This song is a bop. The beat goes hard. The synths sound great. It just is so good through and through. And all the lines that Sabrina's delivering in this song are done quite well. And despite all my qualms with all the lyrical content and it just being for me, I will say I can overlook it on this song because the beat's just so good. Like, I want to listen to this one over and over again. And I did many times. It's definitely getting placed on the summertime playlist. All right, now it's time for Dumb and Poetic. So Sabrina, for the most part, has a very unique sound from the other female artists that are in pop music right now. But what I will say is this song very easily could have been a Lizzie McAlpine song. It's just got Lizzie written all over it. As someone who is a big fan of Lizzie, this song definitely stands out to me, and it's a win in my book. And throwing a acoustic song at this point in the album, I think, was a really nice change of pace. Not that I had an issue with all of the pop songs that were going on before, but I just think that, I'm a sucker for a good acoustic song, so sue me. Honestly, I don't have a whole lot of standout comments on this one, besides it sounds like a Lizzie McAlpine song, and I like that. So we'll just go on to the next song now. Slim Pickens. We really start getting introduced to some country elements on this one. I am typically a person that is very anti-country music. And so when I heard this one, to my surprise, I actually really enjoyed it. Like, Sabrina just places a dish in front of me that I usually want to just like crawl out of my skin when I see it. But this time, it's flavored and seasoned in such a way that, it actually kind of catches my appetite. And I found myself being happy to be a part of it and just gobbling it all up. So honestly, kudos to Sabrina and her team for creating something that made someone that is not a fan of country music like a somewhat country-ish sounding song. Props to you guys. This song also probably delivers one of the funniest lines that I've heard on the album yet. This boy doesn't even know the difference between there, and they are. Yet he is naked in my room, missing all the things he's missing. God knows he isn't living large. Bro's got it rough, and he doesn't have anything to offer in 2 areas of his life that she's looking for. All right, it's time for Juno. Honestly, this song is probably the most uninteresting on the album. It's pretty cookie cutter pop music, and it doesn't really bring anything to the table that's different or unique. I think the most interesting thing about it is that she mixes up all the relationship stuff by saying that maybe he'll let her put a baby in her. You know, out of all the guys that you've talked about on this album thus far, I wouldn't recommend you do that, Sabrina. Don't. All right, next song on the album is Lie to Girls. Honestly, the subject matter on this song is also really sad. Man, we're getting hit with some more really just sad subject matter, especially when Sabrina sings, "You don't have to lie to girls. If they like you, they will lie to themselves." Girl, no. Don't settle for less. Love yourself. Now, on the music side of things, upon first listens, this one was kind of a stinker. But I will say over time, it started to grow on me a little bit. Not like a ton, but more than when I first listened to it initially. For the most part, it's kind of boring, and one I'd probably skip in later listens of the album. Although I will say that I did enjoy what she did in the ending instrumental of the song. I really liked that. I thought it was interesting. And I know that it probably didn't mean anything to anybody else, and you're like, well, that kind of just sounds like everything else that was happening in the song, Josh. Maybe you shouldn't blah, blah, blah. You know what? I know it's contradictory, but it's my review, and I'll say what I want to. Put that in your pipe and smoke it. And finally, we made it to the last song on the album, and it's Don't Smile. This song's pretty chill. We're painted with a pretty dreamy backdrop that is overlaid with some twinkly and sweet riffs. All the while, Sabrina sings about the somber feelings of the end of the relationship and how she doesn't want him to be with some other girl. Which, despite the rest of the album's lyrics, I would say that wraps up all of the themes really well. So it doesn't really bother me as much. But as a standalone song, it's still like, we get it. All right, to sum up all my thoughts on this album, I would say that there are some pretty solid songs on here. A lot of them offer some really great instrumentation that also have a great danceability to them. And I would say that it only has a couple songs that are actually duds. And I think my biggest qualm, and I'm sure you've already put this together, is the lyrical content of the album. Which, I mean, you could probably just chalk up to me being married and not able to connect with these things because they're not really in my life right now. And honestly, even when I was single, I would say I didn't really connect with it. I just have different viewpoints on love and relationships. Overall, I would say it's a good album with very few shortcomings. And if I had to give it a rating, I would probably give it an 8 out of 10. And that concludes today's review. What did you think of the album? Did you love it? Did you hate it? What would you rate it? Let me know down in the comments. And while you're down there, let me know what I should review next. And until then, we'll see you around.